Saturday evenings just feel better after a win, don't they? Especially when you've had to wait a couple of games for that win to come. Great win at the Pirelli Stadium this afternoon. It finished at Burton Albion 0, Derby County 3. Welcome to the Derby debrief. We're live on Facebook on the official Derby County page. And it does feels just a little bit better, doesn't it, to have got the 3 points, got the 3 goals, and lots of reasons to be positive tonight about that victory. Clean sheet, 3 different goal scorers, lots to take away from that performance.
There is, and for me the biggest thing is the turnaround at half-time. We started the game really well. We had a couple of good chances. Obviously, Colo gets his goal. Mendes-Lang could have taken the chance to make it 2-0, and Burton grew into the game, and I thought we still looked tentative, still looked nervy, especially at the back. We didn't have the quality in that first 45 minutes, but the second half was much, much better. We saw more resilience, landing on second balls, better forward runs, the front three with Bird, Mendes-Lang and Collins looking a threat. So to bounce back after a difficult week, 45 minutes at not being our best, but obviously still taking the lead, the second half was much better and it was a comfortable win in the end.
Burton will probably feel a little bit harshly done by the scoreline in the end?
Yes, but at the same time it was Derby that had the clear-cut chances. It was them that looked the more of a threat in that final third. For long spells in the games, they were well in the game. It was that second goal and the quality of Harahan to finish the move off to make it 2-0 that really kind of deflated Burton. But they huffed and puffed and made it difficult. They were great in the first half for landing on second balls and being aggressive and making it difficult for Derby, but never really had the chance. I think it was Sam Hughes, the defender, that had the opportunity to make it 1-1. So all in all, exactly what you wanted after a disappointing Tuesday and not getting the victory you wanted on the first day. Clean sheet, which would do the world of good for the back three.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were a defender. You'd be delighted to be going home on a Saturday night, not having conceded.
Yeah, and the honesty and the reality is you don't care how you get it. You don't care. I thought they still looked a little nervy in that first 45, and I don't think they were at the best, but it doesn't matter. A clean sheet breeds confidence. You've done your job. You can go away from the game knowing that the back line and the goalkeeper have done enough to keep a clean sheet, and that confidence will grow. And we've got experience with Nelson and Bradley. Cashin's still young, but is gaining experience. We've got Wildsmith, who was the #1 last year. Sometimes it doesn't go the way you expect, and that confidence can seep out quite quickly, no matter how experienced you are. So that's great for them. Clean sheet, and of course getting 3 goals just adds to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about the fact that there's 3 different goal scorers as well and what that might mean later on. But let's head back to the Pirelli Stadium. We can hear now from the Derby boss speaking to RamsTV.
Well, Paul, congratulations. First win of the season on the board. How do you feel after that?
Yeah, good. I thought the lads did okay. We created enough chances to probably win. Obviously, not everything was perfect, but it isn't going to be. A windy day, the weather changed a few times, and I thought we just took a few too many risks in the back line, really. We didn't win enough second balls. But then once we got a grip of the game, I thought we were good. And then in fairness to the lads, I just said to them after that, like when they got their second goal and they're full of confidence and that, they're literally unplayable. The subs came on, done really well, so I'm really pleased for them. And it felt like a real team effort. So, but I'm well aware of the fact that the game could have took a different turn first half. And we just weren't careful enough.
What pleased you most then about the performance? What did you like the most from it?
I think I liked the most that this isn't an easy place to come. I don't think I've ever won here in my career as a player or as a manager or as a coach. So it's always difficult. In fairness to them, they had a day less recovery than us, so I knew they'd be up for it. So I think the most pleasing thing for me was the chances that we created. Like Nat could have scored one when he got clean through, then he squared one to Bird, he just missed. So I thought we created enough chances to win, and we didn't really concede that many chances. So that's probably my most pleasing thing.
And a goal from a set play as well, early doors, that must have pleased you too.
Yeah, that did please me. In fairness, weirdly, the goal sort of killed us in a weird way. I thought we started really bright on top. We scored, and that sort of got them to not wake up, that sounds really rude, but it's sort of like they came at us a bit more, and we dealt with a lot of it. But in games like this, when it's really random, if you give away 10 corners, 15 throw-ins in the final third, sooner or later something might drop. Today, fortunately, we defended well enough. So he had to score for set piece like Connor's ball in, so he gets a goal and an assist today, so he'll be very pleased with himself. But I thought James Collins was brilliant today, ran the line really well, caused them problems, took his goal very well, and yeah, overall I was really pleased with him.
Delightful goal from Conor Hourihane as well.
Yeah, I mean, I keep speaking to Connor. His feet are a joke. Like, I don't know if any fans get in here early and watch our shooting, and like Connor, if you lay it off properly, never misses really. His finishing's really good, so I did fancy him for a goal today. And then obviously the pass back is pretty unselfish. I mean, the second and third goal were both unselfish goals, so I'll look forward to watching them back. So yeah, really pleased for Connor to get a goal, and then obviously for Super Wash to get a goal is great as well.
Great for him, summer signing, getting off the mark early doors.
Yeah, it's good for strikers. I mean, I've been wax lyrical about Wash, how hard he works, and he's a threat in behind, and he's a goal scorer as well. But he brings more than just goals, as does Connor, as does Colo, in fairness. So, but it's always nice to score. Who doesn't want to score? If you're 11 or if you're 40, you want to still score. So yeah, pleased for him.
And a clean sheet as well. Nice for the goalkeeper and the defence.
Yeah, clean sheets are always nice. Yeah, away from home, if you get clean sheets, then you're doing quite a bit right. So, yeah, pleasing.
And then you've got to bottle up, if I can say it right, bottle up all the positive energy and take it into Tuesday now. Back at Pride Park, you've got back-to-back games coming in the next week.
Yeah, well, I'm just really pleased for today, to be honest. I'm not getting too far ahead of myself. I'll try and be a nicer person when I go home tonight, I think. So that's good. I'd like to thank the fans who came and stayed with the lads, even though at times we weren't great first half, or not as great as I'd like us to be. But then I thought once the pressure was off, we looked really good. The subs had a really good positive impact, which I expected, which was nice to be able to make them changes, because it was difficult earlier in the game because tactically there weren't a lot wrong and we were sort of on top. But that second goal helped no end. So yeah, so I thank everyone who came and support. I couldn't really work it out because it seemed like our fans were in that side. It was very complicated. So before, when we were doing shooting, I was sort of clapping, and then loads of people were clapping me there. I thought, well, they're Burton fans, but obviously they must like Derby as well, so it's nice of them. So yeah, good day. Ends a disappointing week because we, haven't picked up any points or a cup run. So it's nice to get a win for the lads, and it'll do the dressing room no end of good going forward. So I'm pleased.
Burton Albion tweeted earlier on today a brilliant guide to the ground. I'm not sure it is Twitter anymore, whatever it's called these days. They put a guide to the ground on one of their social media platforms. We should print it off and send it to Paul so he knows which fans he should be going to applaud. I'm always interested when I watch and I hear and I watch the body language of managers in those interviews. And we started quite jovial, saying, it's a 3-0 win, Saturday night will be all right. But the manager wasn't jumping for joy, was he?
He wasn't, and I'm not sure if it's just a little bit of relief, because he knows that this club is expecting things this season, and the first couple of games have been disappointing, so it can be a little bit of relief. I think he'll be a lot more disappointed than he says about the first 45 minutes, because when you think of a Paul Warne team, you think about winning that first ball, landing on seconds, and I thought we were poor for 45 minutes. The first 10 minutes he mentioned there, we were good and we were on the front foot, we got the goals, but he probably realised how close the game was and how fortunate we were that Burton didn't get back into it, because it would have been a different game. And he mentioned there that the second goal really kind of killed it for them. But I thought Colo was excellent. He ran the line. He linked up really well with Mendes-Lang in the second half. But I was just pleased with the quality difference in the second half, the threat we looked in behind at the second half, the little link-up plays. So the likes of Hourihane, Bird, Mendes-Lang and Collins all of a sudden had that freedom and expression and confidence to take the game to Burton, and we didn't see that in the first 45 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how he feels afterwards, but I'm sure he's delighted they've got the win.
Important for James Collins to be on the score sheet as well. Game number 3 of the season, second game of the league season, off and running. That's what a number 9 will want. Yeah,
and it was his kind of game. It was hustle and bustle. He was pressured a lot. I thought he won the first 2 or 3 flick-ons against big Sam Hughes in the heart of Burton's defence. He held it up really well. He was clever and cute, getting free kicks and throw-ins in the final third when he looked isolated. And I just thought all-round game was excellent. The second half, it opened up a little bit, and then all of a sudden Mendes-Lang and him were linking together to try and create things in the final third. You just look at Mendes-Lang and you just want that little bit of composure and that little bit of quality in the final third, and he could have maybe had 2 or 3 today. So, It was a positive response to what I thought was quite a disappointing first 45 minutes. But the first goal was so important, the second goal even more so. And in the end, we looked comfortable.
Yeah, and really well taken as well by Conor Harahan, wasn't it, that second goal? We know that he has that. We know that he can score good goals.
Well, you expect 6, 7+ goals minimum from the likes of Conor each and every season. The left foot he possesses is wonderful, and he doesn't miss chances very often. So he gets himself in that final third, in and around the edge of the box. And to be fair to Max Bird, who I thought was excellent in that second half, yeah, he found Harahan on the edge of the box and there was no missing. And the reason I thought Bird was so good is because I thought the midfield were poor in the first 45 minutes, and the reaction from the midfield three, especially Harahan and Bird, to compete a little bit more. You saw Bird go down and under a heavy challenge. You saw some of his spreading of play and wonderful passes, and obviously he had the kind of ability to pick out Harahan, who knows that from those positions he's deadly. So yeah, the 45 minutes in the second half was much, much better, and we had some standout performances compared to the first 45, when I only think Colo was the player that was doing his bit for the team. And
Paul Warren was speaking there, wasn't he, about the importance of the substitutions, and it was two of those changes, Connor Washington and Martin Waghorn combining for that third goal, which in the end was Connor Washington's.
Well, I'm pleased that Connor's getting fit, because obviously Paul's worked with him before. He knows he's the threat behind. He knows he presses and harries and makes it difficult for defenders. So whether he starts a game or ends a game, when it's stretched like that, someone like him can make a difference and make an impact. And we all know about Waggy. Delighted to see him back at the football club. The fans love him. He's obviously got a special place at Derby County. And the two of them coming on with a bit of experience, a little bit of nous, you'd expect to pick up goals in those last 10, 15 minutes when the likes of Mendes-Lang and Colo have ran themselves into the ground. So it was a nice way to finish the game. It probably was more comfortable than it felt at times. Burton gave their all and really put Derby under pressure without testing them too much. So it's a very pleasing afternoon, and I'm sure Paul's going back home to his wife very, very happy.
Says he'll be a better person at home tonight. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Let's go back to the Pirelli Stadium, though. We can hear now from James Collins.
Colo, you like playing here, don't you? Similar goals to last year.
Yeah, very similar. Obviously, Connor crossed the ball for me last year, and lucky enough for me today, he'd done the same. But no, I like it here. I've been here on loan when I was young, 18-year-old lad. Had a chance to come on here on loan and loved every minute of it. Learned a lot of life lessons as well as football lessons here, and it was a big part of my journey. So it's always nice to come back and score.
On a personal level, bagged your first goal of the season as well. Early doors, how important is it for you as a striker to get off the mark this early?
Yeah, so important. I was just saying to the lads over there, it took me 7 or 8 games to get off the mark last year, and was missing chances left, right and centre. So this year to get off the mark in the second game is huge. And listen, as a striker, I want to score goals, and I'm delighted I could get off the mark today and contribute to the win.
More importantly, as you say, I'm sure you'll agree, is the win today. It's the first win of the season. How important is that to get early, well, after a difficult couple of games, we'll say? Yeah,
massive. Like I said, I think Wigan, the performance was decent, but the result obviously weren't great. Blackpool, obviously we know that wasn't good enough, but the character of the lads today to come to a difficult place, a local derby as well, to keep a clean sheet, score 3 goals, I think it's a great day all round, and it's the start of a tough week because we got a good Oxford side on Tuesday, and then we go to Peterborough, so we need to keep that momentum now and kick on.
Touched on it there a bit with the character, but what did you think of the performance all around today? It seemed like a real step up from midweek.
Yeah, 100%. We've got some good quality in the group now. We've recruited really well. We've still got great lads here from last year, and you can see it starting to gel now. And I think the back five were excellent, and they deserve their clean sheet. And obviously the lads that come on as well changed the game for us. And yeah, it's a squad game, and I feel that we're looking strong, and I think you could see that today.
Well, we've seen you touched on the lads at the back, but towards the end, Waggy, Wash coming on, Wash getting a goal, Waggy and Wash combining for that goal. It's a competition for places up top for you now.
Yeah, listen, that's what you want though. That's what makes a good squad, and that's what makes successful squads. I've played in many squads throughout my career where the competition's been high, and it keeps everyone on their toes, and you know, if you don't perform to your best ability, you could be out of the team. So like I said, the lads that come on were excellent. We know, obviously, the Derby fans know how good Waggy is. He's been here previously, and Washers is getting fitter now, and he's looking a threat. So listen, we've got competition all over the pitch, and I think that'll only benefit us moving forward.
Got a chance to build on the first win, quick turnaround back to Pride Park, and hopefully get the first win on the board in front, under the lights on Tuesday night.
Yeah, there's not many better places to play. Pride Park on a Tuesday night. It'll be a tough game because Oxford, they're looking good this year, and they've recruited well, and they've got a good manager. So it's going to be a tough game, but we need to be at it. And if we play like we did in the second half today, I think we'll be fine.
James Collins speaking to RamsTV from the Pirelli Stadium. Let's have a look at the results elsewhere in League One today. Bristol Rovers 1, Barnsley 1. Cheltenham Town 0, Bolton Wanderers 3. Exeter goalless with Blackpool. Fleetwood Town 0, Cambridge United 2. Leyton Orient beaten heavily at home there, 4-0 by Portsmouth. Lincoln City 3. Wycombe Wanderers 0. Oxford United, next up for Derby 1, Carlisle United 0. Peterborough United 1, Charlton Athletic 0. Port Vale 1, Reading 0. Stevenage 2, Shrewsbury 0. Wigan Athletic 2. Northampton Town 1. Those are the scores elsewhere in League One today. But we are just going to finish up by concentrating on the final thoughts of Shaun Barker after Derby's 3-0 win today. And there will be a lot of people walking around the training ground when you're back into work on Monday morning with a bit more of a spring in their step, because it felt like a bit of a false dawn this week, I've got to say.
It did, and it will do when you play for a club like Derby County and there's expectation. The first 2 games, I didn't think the first performance was too bad, but obviously you lose your first game at home. Second game was a disappointing performance and result. So you have to bounce back, and you have to do it quickly, and they've done that this afternoon. It wasn't a perfect performance by any stretch of the imagination, but clean sheet, 3 goals, a big input and a turnaround at half-time. So they'll be turning up Monday with a lot more confidence than they left. And
importantly, we talk so often, don't we, in this division about how thick and fast the games come. We're back Tuesday, we're here, need to back up what has happened this afternoon with another win on Tuesday night.
We do, and that's hopefully the confidence that's been bred from this afternoon's game, especially that second 45 minutes where at times we were unplayable. So it's so important. The confidence is a massive part of it. We're still gelling. We've still got a team of players that are new to the squad and to Derby County. It will take a little bit of time, but once you get a win, you're looking for the next game as soon as possible, and it's going to be a tough one against Oxford, but one that they'll all fancy after today's result.
Well, thank you very much. Shaun Barker will be back alongside Owen on Tuesday night. That game, of course, will be live around the world and live across the UK as well. And talking around the world, this was the week that tourists blasted off into space. But more important than that, Derby's season got liftoff. Good night.
Might break over on the far side, equalising goal. Craig Forsyth has done it.
Bird lays it off to Mendez-Lang, who makes no mistake with the finish. Mendez-Lang slightly deeper now. Good looking ball into the area.